Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Samantha Martin. I am the communications manager at Cleveland Water Alliance. Thank you all for joining us for our Erie Hack kickoff today. We're super excited to kick off our biannual event. Even if it's virtual, even if it looks a little differently this year, thank you so much for your interest as a participant or a general supporter. Thanks for tuning in. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And I am excited to introduce our executive director, Brian Stubbs. He's going to start us off with some remarks and welcome you all to this virtual event. Take it away, Brian.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks for joining us this afternoon for us, maybe a few of you morning, and who knows, maybe some others from elsewhere in the world, but thanks for joining us. As you may know, Erie Hack is Cleveland Water Alliance's biannual flagship competition. We invite techies, creative thinkers, and entrepreneurs across the Lake Erie Basin and beyond to compete for prizes for the best tech solutions to Lake Erie's most pressing challenges, such as water quality, infrastructure, equity, and awareness or the value of water. Erie Hack is not your typical hackathon. It is a multi-month, multi-city competition that has awarded over $250,000 to date. In addition to the pitch portion of the events, participants have the opportunity to join regional ideation sessions and connect with experts in the field for feedback on their projects and presentations. So this year marks the third iteration of the competition. We are grateful for new and returning Erie Hack organizing partners in Detroit, in Windsor, Toledo, and Buffalo. An especially big thank you to TechTown in Detroit, Paul Reiser, Midstory in Toledo, and the University of Buffalo, Blackstone LaunchPad in the Office of Sustainability, and Ryan McPherson. They've been with us since day one, and we just really appreciate the partnership. We know that collaboration is key, and we're stronger when we work together to solve our Great Lakes' greatest challenges. These partners are on the ground in their respective cities, recruiting participants and organizing Erie Hack events and pitch nights, all reflecting their community's unique character. We are also grateful for our Erie Hack funders and champions. We're excited to share that this year's event is presented by the First Solar Community Giving Fund of the Greater Toledo Community Foundation, the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, and OHM Advisors. Thank you for your support. Also, thank you to all the foundations that have supported us and continue to support us in this endeavor, including the Herb Family Foundation, the Cleveland Foundation, McDougall Foundation, and the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo. Thank you. As with many events this year, things will look different. I think we're all starting to get, I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but used to how things are right now. As we say at the Cleveland Water Alliance, our challenges are our opportunities. Many events will take place virtually this year with the possibility of conducting the final event, which will be in November via a virtual and in-person hybrid format here in Cleveland. We will continue to monitor health and safety guidelines and host our events in accordance with recommendations. While competing in a virtual space may limit our face-to-face interactions, it does allow us to expand our imprint beyond participating Lake Erie cities, extending an invitation to innovators from around the world. Lake Erie's challenges are not unique to us. We're seeing global water issues on the rise with droughts and shortages, inclement weather and the effects of climate change, detrimental impacts of harmful algal blooms, aging infrastructure, emerging contaminants, and continued issues of equity and access. Participants in this competition have the opportunity to not only make the impact locally, but also hold the potential to have their ideas and innovations make waves in the global water community. We are uniquely positioned to utilize our Great Lake to innovate, invest in, and elevate technologies that will preserve the vitality of Lake Erie and beyond. Erie Hack is just one of the ways that Cleveland Water Alliance is working to bolster this region as a water economy hub, an innovation destination that fosters an environment that drives research, attracts industry, generates dynamic career opportunities, and accelerates new technologies. We are excited to expand market-driven innovation programming as we stand up our network of test beds across the Lake Erie and its watersheds and continue to partner with industry leaders like Moen in our open innovation challenges to help create real-world solutions in the water industry. Exciting investments, opportunities, innovations, and collaborations are on the horizon for Lake Erie. We are thrilled to have you here and thrilled to have you involved. I'm excited to see where the ideas and innovation forged throughout this year's competition can take us. This is bluntly kind of like the best part of our job at the Water Alliance is once the competition kicks off and those 2.5 months where we get to really hear exciting new ideas. Thank you for seeing the value of our lake, that it is worth our time, our resource, and our investments to uplift our surrounding ecosystem and communities together. So with that, now I am pleased to introduce Felicia Alantaro, Cleveland Water Alliance's project coordinator, overseeing all things Erie Hack. Felicia, take it away.
Thanks, Brian. But before we discuss the details of the timeline for this year's Erie Hack event, I'd like to introduce some of our organizing partners that are on the call today, starting with Ryan McPherson from the University at Buffalo.
Great. Well, thank you, Felicia. Appreciate that. I just wanted to say a few minor comments here to kind of get things really rolling. A lot of gratitude, gratitude to the Cleveland Water Alliance and Brian, specifically your leadership, and Felicia's some good resilience training over the last 2 years to get us through. But it feels like we were just started this a year ago, but I know that it has been much longer. Some gratitude to my partner here at the University of Buffalo, Hadar Borden, and UB Blackstone LaunchPad, who has just done some great work. It's been our privilege to really try to combine the entrepreneurship and sustainability into one kind of initiative with our students and our community. We live in an incredibly special place, and sometimes I think we need to remind ourselves when we look out at that lake that it's 21% of the world's fresh water, or I think it's roughly 85% of North American available fresh water that moves by our doorstep. It is an incredibly special resource, and it is one of the things that I think will help us weather the storm with climate change and being a place where we will see more people moving to areas like ours, which is all the more reason of why we need to protect this great resource and how we need to really leverage tech and innovation as a way to serve nature. So one of the reasons, and probably the preeminent reason I love this initiative, is it's like, when you put really smart, dynamic young people in a room, throw in a healthy dose of entrepreneurship, a dash of creativity, some innovation on the side, all working and surrounded by a foundation of purpose and sustainability of that lake and of that asset. So thank you to the Cleveland Water Alliance for your leadership here. Thank you to our local partners, and thank you to everyone around the basin who has come together, but yet once again to really help our lake and plan our future. Felicia?
Thank you, Ryan, so much for your kind words. We're so glad to have you on board. Next up, I want to introduce Sam Chang from Midstory, representing Toledo.
Thanks, Felicia. I think I come from a more organizational end. I am a co-founder of a nonprofit based in Toledo called Midstory. We work in public educational media and solutions-oriented projects. I think just how do we begin? A lot of us don't really want to face that has been almost 2 years since the pandemic, I think, first started. But over the last year and a half, I've witnessed so many organizations and businesses struggling to survive. Even for Midstory, we have experienced, I think, our own set of challenges. But in the midst of all this turmoil, we were all able to and forced to pivot in new ways. And that is what I think led the Cleveland Water Alliance to truly bravely start up this competition again with a completely new virtual platform. And I am personally so grateful that they have found these new avenues to continue protecting our natural resources and environment in a region that I believe will be pivotal for this nation's future. It certainly isn't viewed that way now, however. I think it's changing, but we're part of that narrative. Oftentimes my friends ask me why I came back to the Midwest to start Midstory. I think in those moments, I could be indignant, but I'm not. I'm not angry whatsoever. I think it only further spurs me and my team to continue the work that we're doing, to show others that there are groups like us and the Cleveland Water Alliance who are innovating transforming and growing the Midwest story, and that we're all in this together. I think the challenges we have across the Midwest in many ways are shared, whether it is perception, infrastructure, human capital, the list goes on and on. I think this competition specifically exemplifies our efforts to join our communities to tackle these issues and to show others that even our biggest problems are our capital, to bring young people, entrepreneurs, students, and more together to find solutions, have productive discourse, and just push our communities to change for the better. So in short, Midstory this year, we're so proud to be partnering on Erie Hack and thankful for Cleveland Water Alliance for inviting us in, and look forward to seeing the innovations that you all will produce from this competition. And again, thanks everyone. Let's have a great competition. Thanks, Felicia.
And thank you, Sam, for that incredible perspective. And thank you all just for your participation and support. We are so grateful to have you involved. Next up, we're going to play a couple of brief videos from two of our previous Erie Hack winners who will share about their experiences and also pass along their advice for you as you begin your own Erie Hack endeavors. First, we're going to hear from Lorena James, our 2017 high school hack winner, who went on to start her own business. Laura.
I worked on a startup or idea called Z Schools, where essentially I would take zebra and quagga mussel shells from Lake Erie, mainly in the Buffalo region, and I would make this 3D printing filament that essentially was just a more sustainable way of 3D printing. And the goal essentially was to sell the filament to customers that wanted to be more sustainable in their 3D printing practice. I was studying like bioinformatics before I started Erie Hack, and so I was applying to colleges while I was doing Erie Hack. So most of the schools I applied to, I said, I'm entering as a biology student. I went to study either genetics or bioinformatics. And after Erie Hack, I ended up going to Davidson College, North Carolina, and studied environmental and Chinese studies with a focus on entrepreneurship. So definitely a great way to find a new interest that I had. And even now with the program I'm doing in Beijing, wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Erie Hack. So I'm really appreciative of everything that you've offered. Yeah. For Erie Hack, I didn't really have much of an intention of sort of being an entrepreneur. So Erie Hack definitely inspired, I guess, the entrepreneurial spirit in me and gave me the confidence to do other things like, travel to China and study and work there and continue my entrepreneurial journey. Don't be afraid to fail because it happens. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because that happens. It happens to everybody and they're great learning opportunities. Don't beat yourself up too much about it and keep pushing forward because, it's a great way to learn and realize that, I'm sure even people like Bill Gates or Elon Musk make mistakes too, and you can still be successful and, have little bumps along the way.
And next up, we will hear from Thomas Zhang from Team TACSO, which stands for Trap and Contain Stormwater Objects, who took home the top prize during Erie Hack 2019 for the development of a geodesic dome that catches garbage before it flows into Lake Erie. Thomas and his team are currently working on their proof of concept with the city of Lakewood and the Cleveland Metro Parks.
My name is Thomas T.K. Zhang. I'm an architect, inventor, and a author. The whole point is that so that this thing, you can see it, they can just easily lift it up, take it to their truck, dump it, pick it up, wash it, and stick it back in again. Very simple. It's really a very simple advice. The simpler, the better. So we'll have a real good sense by next year, at the end of the summer of next year, of where this invention sits with everything else. We know it's inexpensive, that we have a handle on. We know it works conceptually because we've tested that in computer modeling, things like that. Now we have to test it in the actual field conditions. And this is what Metro Parks is very interested in, as well as foundations and other people. And I'm excited to Erie Hack 3 do yourself a favor and do it. Just do it. And then you're testing your market, you're testing yourself, you're testing ideas. And I'm sure everybody's ideas is really great, but having juries look at it gives you an extra perspective of how your invention sits in with the rest of everybody else and how you're doing. So I urge all the different teams, just do it. You owe yourself that. And I'm sure there's so much creative talent out there that I can't say enough about CWA and having Erie Hack 3. The more you involve the young people, they have such wonderful ideas, and they're, in some ways naive, in other ways, hey, let's try it this way. So it's a way to test your own skills and your own invention, because they're looking at it from a very different perspective than the inventor. So we had half our team of people that have done it, the other half that just, hey, we're just getting into it. And we got a lot out of it. So I encourage the teams, include the young people. Do yourself that favor. So that's my final message, and I'm looking forward to Erie Hack.
Well, there you have it. And if you weren't persuaded to take part in Erie Hack then, well, we'll keep trying. So finally, we will go through a few of the event details a little further, starting with our timeline. So you may have seen this floating around. And now that we've had our information sessions and have officially kicked off Erie Hack today, we're going to start going into the process of developing ideas and solutions to some of Lake Erie's most pressing issues. So this year, we have 3 challenge statements that will serve as a jumping off point for teams. The first one is the Community Water Resources Challenge, where teams are tasked with developing solutions around public awareness on the value of water, meaningful water data, equitable water access, community resilience, and so on. And next is the Surface Water Quality Challenge, and where the focus will be on solutions that address the danger of toxins, chemicals, pollutants, and tabs on our water resources. Finally, we have the Water and Wastewater Infrastructure Challenge, where solutions will address the financial, environmental, and health impacts that population shifts and climate change have on our aging infrastructure. And within each of these challenges, we'll also have a few mini challenges, which are smaller and more specific challenges that focus on a more targeted issue. They are created by our mentors, our partners, our sponsors, and our collaborators, and they occasionally come with prize dollars as well. Check back on our website, eriehack.io, for more information around mini challenges in the coming weeks. And you can also check out eriehack.io for more details on our challenges themselves. So as teams start forming, we will help with the process of ideation through mentorship and through our hack nights. So there are 4 hack nights, starting with one this upcoming Tuesday, and all hack nights are open to all participants. They are an opportunity to meet with mentors, and our mentors will be there to provide a real-world perspective on the challenges and to help validate your idea as well. So hack nights will start with a panel of those mentors, but we'll also follow up with breakout rooms. Participants will be able to ask mentors more targeted questions within these breakout rooms. Hack nights are also an opportunity to network and meet with potential teammates. These hack nights will have at least 2 free rooms open for all participants to come and go in, so that to facilitate that team formation. And these rooms will serve as that networking hub to help build teams and to discuss ideas. So I will also be present at each hack night as well. So it will also be a place to get any of your general Erie Hack questions answered if you haven't gotten them answered through info sessions, as well as today's kickoff. So be sure to sign up for hack nights by visiting the schedule section on Event Tornado. So after these hack nights are over, we will continue to offer mentorship where participants can sign up for one-to-one meetings with mentors of interest. Our mentors have expertise in areas that fall within our challenges, as well as expertise in business development, project management, and other components that will be crucial to your team's success. And all this hacking will culminate into the team formation deadline on October 15th. And as of 22 minutes ago, you are all able to register as a team on Event Tornado. Many of you have already registered as an individual, which everyone has to do before registering as a team. I love the amount of engagement I've seen. I've already seen incredible engagement within our event chat on Event Tornado. And that brings me a lot of confidence that despite like the virtual component and any virtual hardships we've had, Erie Hack will still come out with incredible technologies this year. So now that team registration is open, you'll be able to see the ideas tab and the post idea button, which will lead to this form. And it'll ask information around your idea. But if you don't have all of this yet, no worries, because all of this information will be editable. It is editable. So here is the view in the ideas tab. And if you have an idea, you can invite team members. So you click into your idea and you'll get a view that looks like this. To invite a team member, click on this button, which will prompt you for their email and the role that they'll play in your team. Once you fill out this information, they'll receive an email and they'll need to click on the link in that email to be a part of your team. So participants can also join teams. They can also apply to join teams. And when they do, they'll be prompted with another form to fill out. And once that form is filled out from the potential team member, it'll be on the team lead, whoever submitted that idea, to review the content. If you go back into this view, you'll also see that team chats are automatically created. And when you click this button, it'll redirect you to your private team chat. When you invite team members or when a participant, another member joins your team, it should automatically add them to each chat. But if it doesn't, this button will show you the members that are part of your private chat. And right now it's just me, but I can add users. And once I click this button, it'll show you several other users in the platform that you can add as well. And once you have a team, you'll also be able to make video calls, add attachments, and communicate with your team to build the best solution and to brainstorm the best idea you have for Lake Erie. And I know there are many other features that I didn't get to, so I encourage you all to play around with the chat, the hackathon platform as well, and feel free to ask me any questions. I will also be in the event chat for you to DM, and I will also leave my email out at the end of this presentation, but feel free to reach out to me either way. And remember, the team formation deadline is October 15th at midnight. So once the team formation deadline has passed, I will be placing teams into quarterfinals based on where your team members are from. So for example, if a team member has members from Cleveland and from Buffalo, they'll be placed in either the Cleveland or the Buffalo quarterfinal. It's just an opportunity for us to even out the quarterfinal saturation And this is an opportunity for you to work across the region, something we haven't been able to do because this is the first time we'll be virtual. So if teams aren't from these cities, but are from the region, your quarterfinal will be the closest city that you're in. But for those that are not from the region, be sure to find team members that are to be eligible for prizes. And before we get into prizes, I just want to cover semifinals and finals a little further. Semifinals will occur on November 4th, and it will be hosted by TechTown Detroit. It will be virtual. There will be at least 2 teams from each quarterfinal that advance to semifinals. And it's typically about 2 to 6 teams, but it'll be capped at 20 teams total. From semifinals, we'll have finals, which will be hosted by us, Cleveland Water Alliance. And as mentioned earlier, we're hopeful that it will be in person, just depending on the health situation later in November. But the highest scoring team from each city that made it to semifinals will advance, and that will be 4 teams, as well as the 4 to 5 of the highest scoring teams, regardless of your city quarterfinal. So there will be up to 9 teams that advance to finals and will be eligible for our prize dollars of $30,000 for first place and $15,000 for second place. And remember, this doesn't include the potential mini challenge prize dollars that will come in the coming weeks. And so here is our Twitter and website information for both Erie Hack and Cleveland Water Alliance. And I've also left my email out for any questions. But before I get into questions for the webinar, remember that we are having an iPad giveaway for those that are in attendance. So be sure to check your emails later today if you won. And again, I'm so excited about the engagement that I've already seen in Event Tornado around Erie Hack and all the emails that I've been getting about the interest around Erie Hack. So let's make this Erie Hack the best one yet. So with that being said, what are some of your questions?
Looks like we just had some conversations about folks looking for team members, and we'll be sure to add registrants to our Slack channel, folks that have registered so far, so they can continue that conversation as well, since we do have an Erie Hack Slack channel. But if anyone has any other questions, Felicia's email is here. Please feel free to reach out to us as you think about your participation, as you form your teams. And if you have any questions about the timeline or participating in this year's Erie Hack, thank you all so much for your support, your time, your attendance, and we're so excited to see what kind of innovations you all come up with this year. So with that, I think we're good to close, Felicia.
But there was one other thing that I wanted to mention that I saw Brian mention in the chat. But as with the example of Thomas and Lorena, Cleveland Water Alliance will continue to work with any of the promising technologies and provide that entrepreneurial support services in addition to the prize dollars that are promised. But yes, thank you.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll send this recording out via email, and be sure to check your email later, as Felicia said, to find out who the winner of the iPad is. Thank you all so much.